Let me tell you something that sounds fake, but absolutely isn't. Your first $100,000 is harder to make than your second $100,000. That's not motivational poster nonsense. That's math, psychology, and a little bit of pain. Charlie Munger once said, "The first $100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it." Today, I'm gonna show you why that first 100,000 feels impossible, why it changes everything, and exactly how normal people, not crypto geniuses or lottery winners, actually get there. And yes, even if you're starting with $37 in your checking account and emotional damage, why the first 100,000 feels impossible. Imagine pushing a car. At first, nothing happens. You're pushing, you're sweating, you're questioning every life choice. Then suddenly, the car moves, just a little. And once it starts rolling, it gets easier. Momentum kicks in. Money works the exact same way. When you have $0, nothing grows. At $1,000, you squint at your account like, did anything even happen? At $10,000, well, it's better, but still kind of disappointing. But then you hit $100,000, and that's when things change. Your money finally starts pulling its own weight. Now, let's talk numbers. If you invest $1,000 and earn 8% per year, that's about $80 annually. Nice. But honestly, you could make that by selling old stuff you forgot was in your closet. Now watch what happens at 100,000 at 8% per year. That's $8,000 annually. That's about $666 per month. That's one car payment. That's groceries without crying in the checkout line. Your money just showed up to work every day, no sick days, no complaints, while you're asleep, walking your dog, or pretending you'll start going to the gym next week. That's compound interest. It's the ball rolling downhill, picking up speed, whether you're paying attention or not. Before $100,000, you're basically doing all the heavy lifting. And this is where most people quit, right before momentum kicks in. After $100,000, you and your money become roommates who will split the bill with you. Now, let's talk about the three engines that can get you to your first 100,000. Here's the truth no one likes to hear. At first, your first 100,000 is not built by investing or compound interest because, let's be honest, what's even there to compound on? Your first 100,000 is built by income, discipline, and patience. Let's break it down. Early on, your income is the biggest lever. Saving $5 by skipping coffee does help, technically, but let's be honest, it's painfully slow. And deep down, you know you'll give up long before you sniff $100,000. That's like trying to fill the ocean with a teaspoon during a drought. Early on, the real power move isn't how much you cut. It is how much you earn, because you can only trim expenses so far before you're eating ramen and canceling your own happiness. And when your income is low, there's nothing left to protect. What we will need to do is to raise the water level first, then worry about the leaks. This can mean negotiating your salary, switching jobs, learning a high value skill, starting a side hustle, freelancing, or yes, working more than one job temporarily. I know it doesn't sound sexy, but neither is being broke at 45. We need to think of income as the first engine. The second engine is to save aggressively, early on, but without hating your life. You don't need to live like a monk. You don't need to delete happiness, eat plain rice, and meditate on your bank balance. But you do need to pay your future self first. Think of saving like flossing. Nobody wakes up excited to do it. But if you skip it long enough, things will get ugly and expensive. A solid rule of thumb is saving 20 to 40% of your income. Now, I know what you're thinking. Daniel, I can barely save $50 a month. How am I supposed to save 20 to 40%? Well, fair question. Don't throw tomatoes at me just yet. We will get into it. This starts with honesty. Most people don't have a money problem, they have a leak problem. Subscriptions you signed up for during a free trial and never emotionally recovered from. Coffee that somehow costs more per month than your phone bill. Food delivery because cooking feels like too much right now. even though there's food at home actively judging you. And let me be clear, that's just a rule of thumb. You can adjust it to your situation. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. And the real secret to tackle this is automation. Before your paycheck even hits your account, you assign every dollar a job. This is called zero-based budgeting, which just means your money gets instructions before it starts making bad decisions. Because left alone, money gets bored. And bored money turns into DoorDash, Amazon, and things you don't remember ordering. Treat your savings like a bill. Rent gets paid, electricity gets paid, Netflix gets paid. So, why is future you always optional? Here's the part that nobody likes hearing. Lifestyle inflation is the silent killer. It sneaks up on you. You get a raise and suddenly your car needs an upgrade, your apartment needs more space, and your ego needs premium features. You could make $200,000 a year and still be broke. That's not an income problem. That's a spending problem. Every raise does not need a bigger apartment, a nicer car, or a personality update. Wealth is built in the gap between what you earn and what you keep. Protect the gap. That's how you stop living paycheck to paycheck and start giving your future self a fighting chance. The third engine is to learn how to invest. Simply, no guru required. Please stay far away from crypto gurus and get rich quick schemes. I know it's hard, especially when you feel behind and your Instagram keeps showing you a 20-year-old in a rented Lamborghini saying, I made $100,000 today and I'll teach you how. No, he won't. For your first 100,000, boring wins. This means broad index funds, long-term investing, no day trading, and no, this one stock will change my life kinda energy. You don't need to beat the market. You just need to not punch yourself in the face financially. Remember this, getting rich slowly feels boring, but getting poor quickly is extremely exciting for about 5 minutes. So how long does it actually take to get there? Well, if you invest $600 per month and earn about 8% per year, here's what it actually feels like. Year 1, you earned a whopping of around $270 per year. You check your account and think, did this thing even turn on? Year 3, well, still underwhelming. You're kind of proud of yourself, but also slightly offended. Year 5 to 6 comes, you earned almost $8,000 to $10,000 a year. Okay, we're seeing something. Year 9 to 10, you're around $100,000. That's almost a decade. And this is exactly where most people quit. Right before compounding finally wakes up. Here's the math behind why it changes. When you have $10,000 earning 8%, that's only $800 per year. Well, not a really exciting number, but at $100,000, that same 8% earns $8,000 per year. Now your money is actually helping you. This is also why your second 100,000 takes way less time, because now you're stacking two engines. Your monthly investing plus thousands of dollars per year coming from growth. It's like pedaling a bike with the wind finally at your back. Think of compounding like a snowball. At first, it's tiny. You're pushing it and it feels kind of pointless. Then it grows slowly. Then one day, it starts rolling on its own. And eventually, it becomes unstoppable. You know, patience isn't exciting, but it's how this actually works. And once you hit that 100,000, three things change. First, you stop panicking about money. Well, you're not rich yet, but you're also not one car repair away from disaster. Second, your money starts working harder than you. You open your account and see thousands moving around. Not $1, not $2, but real numbers. It feels kind of illegal, but it's totally allowed. Third, you gain more confidence. Now you know you can build wealth. 200,000 feels possible. 500,000 feels real. 1 million, well, suddenly that sounds doable, doesn't it? Like, maybe you could actually buy a small island. The hardest mental barrier is finally gone. And once it's gone, everything moves faster and with way less panic. Now, can we talk about the stuff that quietly sabotages your first 100,000? Because if we're being honest, we've all done at least one of these and immediately regretted it. Chasing get-rich-quick schemes, switching strategies like a Netflix show, panic selling during market drops, and waiting for the perfect time, which somehow never arrives. Well, quick reminder, time in the market beats timing the market. Well, unless you secretly have a crystal ball, in which case, call me. And consistency, it absolutely destroys intensity every single time. Your first $100,000 isn't about being a genius. It's about showing up, being patient, trusting the process, and not quitting when it feels like nothing is working. Because once you cross that line, money stops bullying you and starts working for you full time. No complaints. If this helped, hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment below so I know you're in this with me. And remember, the first 100,000 is hard, but it's worth every boring, unsexy, disciplined step.